Let this go. Yeah, I'm gonna take the loss. Shoot. Let's just take the loss. I was just trading their UPXI.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's looking decent.
yeah.
LRHC.
It's going great, man. It's going great. Haven't had much time to work on it, but I've gotten to a good place. I got some beta testers on it. It's like a trader view, not really a scanner. I was thinking of doing the scanners, but I'd rather do a trader
Well,
view.
you know what I meant to say. My mind
Oh
was
yeah,
all
yeah,
over. Yeah.
yeah, man. It's going great. If you got some time, still want you to take a look at it, bro.
SAVE.
Yeah, maybe today. I think today after the stream I can check it out.
Yeah, let's do it, dude. A couple of guys asked me about it, and I got I got Jimmy and some other guy, kind of just giving it a run.
Nice.
Yeah, Jimmy's always involved in stuff, so he wanted to do it.
Yeah, I had a great talk with Jimmy yesterday after the live stream. Good guy,
SAVE.
man.
Yeah.
For those of you on YouTube, what's up? Good morning. Welcome back.
UULF.
JFBR.
Can we get this breakout?
SAVE.
All right. So there's a couple of stocks moving. There's UPXI, which is leading the way. Looking pretty decent. 133% move. What setup were you looking at there, Enzo?
I was looking for the breakout of 750, 775, and back to the yesterday's high, 855. Trying to get that extension there. But I think there's a lot of back holders here holding it down.
How long have you been trading pre-market?
Today,
No, like in general.
if it's hot, I'll come around pre-market. But if it's not really hot, then just come around 9 and get things set up. But not much, honestly. I usually trade pre-market more.
SAVE.
The great thing is you catch these opportunities early on, man, you can just hold a really good trade.
D trades, just a heads up if you can hear me. Your server muted, which means you might have left your mic on at some point randomly. Just a heads up. So I can unmute you, but just give me the heads up that you're good to go. I got XPON up here as well. Yeah, this one could do something later. It's only up 36%, but looks decent. MNPR from yesterday. I mean, what a move, right? Honestly, I mean, this move was like just something else. But the sad thing about this move is that we didn't really get a lot of entries. It was just halt up, halt up, halt up, no dip and rip. A few false halts down, and there was an entry out of this first halt down, red to green. There was an entry here, and then I think there was an entry up at 30 in terms of like decent places to buy. I think up here 31 low, ended up going up to 33. But everything else would have been like a super aggressive entry. UPXI. Oh, holy smokes. Wow. That is impressive. Hopefully it gives a nice dip. $9.67. My offset seems to be working pretty nicely. You know, I was gonna chase 850, but I'm like, let's not buy it right at the resistance. It just kept going. Classy beam, brother. How you doing? If it dips down again, I'll be interested here into the previous highs. Seems like it's holding above 9 this time. 1 minute to the new 5-minute candle. Where's my time enforced? Interesting. I can't even remember if my cancel hotkey is the same. I'm gonna double check. $18 is kind of high. All right, taking the loss. I'm gonna try to get back in. It's the only bad thing when you're not using the ladder. Okay, good. I got the ask plus 4 cents. So if the ask price skips up a little bit, I'll be in pretty high, which is what happened there. But aiming for 910, that would have been a great trade. We'll see if it gives another dip. This honestly feels like because there's no halt level, like it feels like it just could keep going. There's 11. Again. It's going again. 32. The low there was 40. I think chasing it is a little aggressive. I'd wait. I'm gonna wait here. It does seem pretty bullish, but definitely impressed with this move. This stock here, man. I mean, I guess this is how all pre-market stocks it's really gonna be moving once they're strong. There's no halt level, so they just go and go, and you got to be in early.
Yeah, I personally find it difficult to scalp pre-market. My strategy pre-market was usually holding for bigger moves, the setups,
Yeah.
1 minute pullbacks, 5 minute, 5 minute setups, pullbacks or bull flags. It just goes, man. No hold levels. It's incredible.
Yeah, I had a good entry in hindsight, but I thought at the time, well, I did kind of get a high fill. My hotkeys program with the offset, so when I bought, the ask price did jump a little bit, and I was in much higher versus what I would want for the lows, so I cut the trade. I was in at like 918 versus like 905. So I ended up cutting it, but I should have been a little bit more aggressive to buy back with a tighter spread at like oh 08. But I was really looking for sub 9 because the low was 1080 or 10, what was that? 8, I mean 880. 880 was the low.
Yeah, I was looking for the same consolidation. Quick dip below 9, but it held 9 pretty strong.
DXCM.
It seems like it might be running out of steam compared to how the first two breakouts were. Now it's going up. We're seeing more topping wicks.
Yeah,
Time to go short.
you're right. The downside is also pretty risky because this thing can drop so fast as it's going up. The 200 is right there for me. I have the 200 at 1163 EMA.
Yeah. Jeb, oh man, Jeb, wow, it's been a long time. It's good to see him. He got his thing deafened, but it's good to see Jeb. Shout out to the UK traders, man. I wonder if we might see a lot of pullback and just resistance into the open. The last dip I took was at 1060. It took a long time to bounce, so I ended up cutting it scratch. It still went. It ended up going up to that new high. All right, I'm gonna jump up top and officially start it up. 850 feels like too quick. What do you think, Enzo? Maybe we got to shoot for 830, 820, hang out a little longer.
Yeah, 8:30 is good.
Yeah, I think 830 might be the move.
Yeah, it just goes so fast. I mean, this move started at 8:40, so 8:30 could be good, man.
Yeah, I was thinking the 9 a.m. spike, but 830 could be good.
Okay, yeah.
ATNF.
All right, man. Catch you Monday at 8:30.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll catch you at 11 first. So we'll be back down in here again. So
Oh, that's right. Oh, thanks for doing that, man.
this is the new. Well, we used to do this every day like this, like 2.5 years ago. But after that, we kind of started doing it more sporadically. Now we're bringing it back.
Nice. Catch you later.
We're bringing back the greatness. Bringing back the greatness. You guys will notice on YouTube that I had some fairly good entries, all things considered. My whole time, you can say. The first trade, though, again, I was getting in below 10. The ask price kind of went up. The latter, honestly, in this type of situation, the latter I think is a little bit better because you're gonna get the fill that you want to get versus having to wait for the level 2 to come to a specific price before putting out the order, which means there's much more that can happen, right? Like if an order is just sitting at 1150 versus you trying to wait for the bids to come to 1150 and then post the order quickly, you can see why there might be like, you know, trouble. So maybe I use the latter next time, and what I can do, it'll probably honestly even make it a little easier to scale in, and then I just use my hotkeys to bail out, because I can increase my offsets as well, just so that I get out when I need to get out, and not take on any slippage. I think I'm already seeing that that's an adjustment I can make here. Um, but yeah. Anyhow, let me write up the watch list. How do you manage risk with such a big spreads? Well, ideally, I'm trying to buy a little lower. I'm trying to buy a little lower and have a tighter risk versus where I think the support is. So, for example, on the move up to 50 or the move down, we had 1150 high and 1050 low. I bought 1064, I believe. Let's just double check here. Signal screen, monitor. I bought 1060. So I bought 1074 first. This, and I noticed right away, like I'm in a little too high. Right here, what happened? I didn't buy very quickly, and I waited for a little bit of green on the tape, which resulted into the higher fill. Immediately, I knew, yeah. So we took the loss there. We bought back lower towards 50, where we thought the support was. But we ended up still stopping out a little too soon. So this is one of those situations where the stock didn't come down below the level, but because it was taking a longer time to give a pop versus every other candlestick that I saw, I decided to cut the trade. Ended up not being the right move, but it's why it's good to just sometimes just let the trade play through to the stop loss. I gotta try to keep data to see how much, let's say how many times I might cut a trade early and save myself from a loss versus how many times I cut a trade early and it actually being a winning trade. The softwares that I use right now, they don't track that type of data. So maybe it's something I'll have to track on my own. Because again, there are some days where you cut the trade because your intuition is saying, hey, this, why is this one not bouncing? And when I say bounce, it doesn't mean high of day, but we come down to the low and we get like a 20-cent relief bounce before maybe like a short-term consolidation of like 20-30 seconds before it then, starts to maybe curl up a little more. It kind of was just there. So I was thinking it's going to price in a new low, maybe down at like, 10-20 or something. Whatever price it would have went to, I don't know. But it ended up holding. Cirque Live, man, I tell you. Ay, ay, ay. Anyhow, it's the watch list, right? Watching. There's a new stock here in ATNF. UPXI. XPON. What I'm still working on is getting my body to adjust because I still go to sleep at 12. I go to sleep at 12 a.m. every day. So, I think I have to push that down to like 11 because when I wake up at like, what was it, 6:50, 7 a.m., I don't feel as energized as I should feel. I think that's 6.5 hours. We might need a full 7 hours because I'm going to the gym. I go to the gym 5 times a week. The gym is definitely the gym definitely, takes a lot of energy out. Wait until your 30s. Yeah, back in the days when I was but a humble 18-year-old, you didn't even need to sleep. Man, there's things there's some things that like at 18, it's like you can't dream of doing now. And I'm only in my mid-20s, so yeah, father time. But anyhow, let's bring it back. So ATNF just popped up, and how are we looking? So we got a 45% move, 1.8 million shares of volume. Honestly, since the other stock hit resistance, it's still selling off, which honestly I think could be a good thing for us. That way we have some distance in between us and that wall. So UPXI could perhaps give the bounce. ATNF though, fresh stock. And right now we got highs at 610. I do have a couple of trend lines. So I'm going to check out. Let me check the drawing set here. In fact, I'm going to clear it. Start fresh. What I'm noticing about pre-market just in these 2 days is that honestly, it doesn't seem like there's any difference. If I'll be very honest. I don't know what the hell I was talking about before. Now, granted, the market right now for small caps is very hot, starting like last week, Monday, or at least 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And in terms of the 5-minute setup, in terms of buying the bigger extended pullbacks, giving them time to curl up, I'm not seeing any difference. It's a matter of buying where you think the support is and having an appropriate stop in place relative to the reward and giving it a chance. Now, being accurate is going to be important, right? Accurate in determining the low of the move. That way you're not stopping out too many times. That's like usually the trick. 480. There was a rejection candle below the 200 EMA at $8. So I think $8 perhaps a place where we could see resistance if this happens to be strong. The 200 EMA is at 887 for ATNF. Where does this appear? The logo, symbol, oh, whatever. So ATNF, not looking bad, looking pretty decent. We'll see how this one continues. Coming back to UPXI, which is our leading stock here, up 190%. I have the 200 EMA up there, 1165. key daily level from a few days ago was 855. I'd hope we can hold up this area here and not continue to drop. This is also previous pre-market high as well. So there's two levels here, and hopefully we can find some sort of support in this zone. So this is what it comes down to in terms of taking a trade, right? If there's a level like this that you think is strong, I mean VWAP is also in the vicinity, then can I take an entry here, right? Can I take an entry here with an appropriate stop relative to what I think the bounce could be? So from 1180 to 860, can we bounce back perhaps to 925, which is very moderate? How many cents is that? 850 was that 75 cents? Maybe I'm risking 25 cents below this level here. That's how, but in order for this trade to work well, it's like you have to execute, meaning you have to get the fills you want to get. So maybe limit orders, and then other than that, you really sit tight with the stop in place. And another thing is to watch out for slippage, because you can have a stop of 25 cents and still lose a dollar a share at times, because this is the stock market, right? Those variables, so it's not always exactly the exact risk to reward. It's not always the exact entry. There are things that can come that can like throw off the trade. But here we are at 911, so can the stock continue to curl a little bit more, maybe go to 940 or something? Honestly, like 925 is pretty 925 is pretty moderate. This could bounce back to like 980. But 920 on the ask right now. So this is how this type of trade, the 5-minute setup was, is looked at. Free game, right? Which is why there's gonna be people who learn how to trade simply from watching the YouTube video. So the least you guys can do is hit that thumbs up, right? Subscribe to the channel. So it's 22. The other stock that I have here, XPON. Part of the difficulty sometimes is trying to identify the strong stock, because coming into the open, there can be like 2 or 3 stocks that are strong, and then you could be watching that at the one that's just quite not what the other one is. Sometimes there's things like that. There's certain other variables too. XPON 9. Oh jeez, 569 for pre-market highs. Low of the pullback here at 452. This one popped up. It's up 30%. There could be something here. We'll see how it does. ATNF. ATNF, how are we doing? ATNF is pulling back, brother. Pre-market highs, we're at 648. Low of that last pullback, 520. Looks decent. So there's UPXI up to like up to 980. Right here, like, it's hard to say, but I think it might give a pullback soon. It should, for what I know the market to be. Let's see if I have a crystal ball right here, right? Watch this. Will this stock pull back here in the next like 2 minutes or a minute and a half? I'd be shocked if it just keeps going. If it goes back to high day, I'd be shocked. UPXI. Like if it gets to 1020, 1030, then this bounce is epic. This is what this bounce should be naturally here. And there's a new 5-minute candle here to potentially make the new high. So this it could at least be interesting. But we'll see. Now, like a day like yesterday, the stock that I traded, that cheaper stock, that thing just sold off. Like, and I bought the dip in an area where I thought it would have made a lot of sense, and it just, it's like the equivalent of if I bought the dip here, and then the dip just kept dipping. Part of the deal. Part of the deal. But if you're accurate in your analysis as to where the low should be, honestly, your accuracy is going to be super high one, and you can just dominate. Okay. Let me just make sure there's no other stocks that's moving. MNPR from yesterday. The volume is a little lighter right now, but just in case volume gets in, and we can see a repeat of DRUG. Well, what do you know? Right on time, the pullback. And shout out to the market for making me look good here in front of the audience, right? Because this could have kept going, but this is what's usually the case. Now, this can read, it's one of two things now, or maybe three things really. This can give a higher low, a double bottom, or it sells off. And then we kind of start to see like the ABCD coming into the open. If the pattern turns out to be the ABCD, because the other part of the W is already here. We have the midpoint. So are we going to just sell off, or are we going to hold up somewhere here and then bounce? There's only one entry that I love out of every possibility here. Coming into the open, it definitely throws things off because the volume is going to be different. But if it sticks to this pattern that it's trading, then the trade could still be worth it. UPXI. If I'll watch this entry here and we'll see how it does. But this is what I would call a linear move. Like, it's predictable, it makes sense. There's certain other stocks where there's just chaos and madness. I'm gonna start up my screen recording and I'll be good to go. For those of you on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Also, if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget our disclaimer. Day trading is risky. A lot of people are having a hard time, so take it slow, especially if you're new. Build experience, become competent before exposing yourself to a lot of risk, right? Ensure that your market tuition is low. Lastly, I do not invest for my subscribers, so be careful of fake accounts. Also, copy trading will take you to the depths. All right? Copy trading will take you to the depths. I lose every Friday. I'm up 300, might as well call it. Man, I don't like to limit myself to things like that, man. But, I don't know. It's different for everyone. Some people say I never do good on Wednesdays. I might as well not even trade. I don't know. But for each their own. For each their own, for the broader audience, right? You got to do what's best for you. So UPXI, I'm keeping an eye here. I got small size. We'll see if it does give me a chance to get in. And if we can see this higher low, it can be interesting. We got a couple seconds to the open. So I'm kind of going to look for like a 5-minute setup here, baby size. Son of a gun, you son of a gun, you son of a gun. Why couldn't you come lower? But that wasn't a bad entry there for anybody who took that. Insane, right? There was no sellers underneath the whole dollar there. Oh my gosh. Bro, that's like instant money if you bought. Holy smokes. XPON. Perhaps break of 5. Tight stop here. Spreads opening up, cutting it. XPON, you got to be careful with the spreads here. And ATNF halted down, by the way. So we're gonna get a higher low. Man, this is pretty close to what what I'm looking at it at sub 9. The low is 60. I'm thinking like 98 is too high for me to start accumulating the position. But again, from 860, high of day is at 1180. There's a 40 cents range in there, and I wouldn't look to hold past the double bottom. So maybe I kind of misanalyzed there. I'm not sure. But anyhow, it's a nice move, and we'll see how the resumption does. Yeah, Big Steve, I think it's something to do with Halloween. I'm not sure why Discord is like... I don't even think there's a way to turn it off either. Something to bring some some relaxation, I guess, for those of us who are stressed out trading. I spoke with one of the students yesterday. He was telling me, hey man, this thing can be pretty stressful. I like the calmness, the calmness that we can bring here. So hopefully that helps out a little bit in that aspect. HDSN, PHUN, yeah, a lot of stuff hitting scans. So Relentless Trader, what share size do you want to use? You do believe this thing can get back to 1180. How aggressive do you want to be here? I think this is a fair question, and a cool 1800 shares, and then I'm gonna have big size at 5K because I'm a madman and I'm comfortable with that and I understand the risk. Pastor stepping up to bat once again. If the stock ends up being pretty strong here, maybe we can go for new heights. You guys know I'm always optimistic, but I'm also managing risk, right? Maybe the moon is calling our names today. Yes, sir. I can already see myself winning on this resumption. 9.99. There's no pressure when we know what it is. We tell the market, we ask the market to allow us to have this dance. Can we see the dip and rip? So cutting the chatter, we got 35 and 29 if it is a 5-minute halt. About 30 seconds. This is where you take a deep breath. And then you tell yourself, no fear, no hesitation. You look for the entry and you execute. Hopefully we see the dip and rip here. 10 seconds. Here we go. Is it 10 minutes? It looks like it's 10 minutes. It's showing 10:50 resumption. XPON is trying again. We did have a brutal spread just now. And it still has a brutal spread here. Or at least let's say brutal range more so than spread. It has potential, but you got to be very careful here. Do I want to try to dip XPON? Oh, I tried for the limit order, no fill. I'm going to only use limit order on this one because I tried for 95. It's a little too quick. There's 510. There's a bid at 505, 10,000. Can we retest 20 eventually? There's 15. There's 20. And that's a nice trade. I'm not going to get the entry. There's 22. I would have been all out right there at the highs. Maybe it keeps going, but you know, that would have been a good trade there. There's a new high 530, so it is going. I got an order out. Can I get the fill? Getting fills is a nightmare here, man. If I mark it, it's just not going to go well. Although there's two great trades. I've missed out like 40 cents already, man. I was going to say a Jamaican curse word, but not going to do it. Alright, UPIX. Coming back to good old UPIX. We got 3 minutes. If it can get the ask price to be tight, I can try to market order here. Uh, 2 minutes for UPXI rather. UPXI. One thing I gotta be careful of here because it got halted up so fast, so quick. I do have to pay attention to the spreads here because that's how I could lose is if the spreads end up being like crazy wide and doesn't pull back. I think that's something to keep an eye out for. We got about a minute. That dip there was from 50 to 505, so it's a decent dip, decent bounce. All right, here we go for resumption. We got like 25 seconds. It's showing 1058, so it might resume significantly higher here. 999. We're at 9.99, so let's see how it does. Can we please get the dip? Here we go. Can we get the dip? 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 No dip. Come on. And it's back to, it's so, man, this is insane. The train has left the station. We had a good hypothesis to try to get long for the double bottom slash higher low. We're not in. And then no entry. And it's already filled the gap to what I thought would have been it. Well, we're in this exaggerated market, so it probably keeps going to like 13 or something. But I mean, if you're not in, what are you gonna do? And then XPON is kind of exhausted here. This is like the 5th dip. Maybe it does continue to hold. This is, this is part of trading. It sometimes is a little annoying. Like again, with the fills on this stock, not getting the fills. Let's say not getting the fills. This other one not being in, it's like we would have already reached our daily goal, Now we gotta sit back and wait. Taking a couple cents for the scalp there. Is that a 14K bid at 5, I think? 16,000 at 5. Smaller bid. The 5-minute setup here is aligning with the sub VWAP move, as in like a break and reclaim, which for me is only a quicker entry, a quicker trade. So I'm not looking to be in and hold longer here, back below the VWAP. And it's halting down. I might take the false halt down. If not, the resumption lower could be good for the bounce. It looks like it'll get locked in. If this comes above VWAP for the 5-minute candle, because the way how this looks, right, the volume wise, this doesn't look bad if we pulled away more, and then we're dipping, and like the bottom of the candle is like coming into VWAP. But me buying here is like no man's land, unless it's the break and reclaim. Titanic. UPXI, I'm gonna watch the dip and rip again. But this is gonna be like my last chance to get in. Hopefully it gives the entry. And it's gonna be riskier here because if it doesn't open up significantly higher again, we're gonna be back below this resistance, which means the stock might just fail. So I need this to open up at 13. If this opens up at like 12.50, 13, then I stand a chance here. UAVS, which I did see and didn't put on the watch list this morning. UA, yes. It's a bit of a dead cat bounce. I did look at the chart earlier. Nice. So from 2 up to 260, not bad. Resumption, 45, 48. We got about a minute. And honestly, 25. The dip at VWAP there for UAVS. Not bad. All right, if this is a 5-minute halt, we got a couple seconds. Well, there's no time. 11:89. A couple seconds. Here we go. Okay, looks like it's 10 minutes. Looks like it's 10 minutes. UAVS. Nice move. We got back to 55. That's pretty impressive. It does have a little bit of range to it, as in bids dropping down a bit. Pre-market high, 260, 397 from a few days ago. Yeah, you gotta watch for those bids dropping down. There's a 10,000K bid, 63 or so. Not bad at all. We're definitely in an interesting market here. 99 to halt up. It's like the moment it got over 62, it's like just buy and hold kind of thing. Despite there being sellers, it's pushing through the sellers. 50, 48 seconds. We're not really getting bigger dips, which is surprising for how the stock has been conducting. Oh, there's a bid here now. It's not pulling away, which is interesting. Usually would pop right away with this type of buyer. The shares are filled. Resumption, like a minute. Uh, let's see. We got about a minute. See, what I needed to do was to avoid that first trade and just take this trade there. Because I knew it just was kind of high, right? It was kind of high. Less than 40 seconds to resumption, or about 40 seconds. UPXI. I don't know why I make silly mistakes like that, to be honest. It shouldn't happen. All right, UPXI, we're at 1189. Couple of seconds to resumption. It's showing 14. Here we go. And maybe it's 15 minutes. It might be random at this point, honestly, which we did see one time yesterday. If not, 15 minutes till 45.48 or 55.48. It probably is going to open up at like $14 then, is what it's really telling us. So this could be good, but we have to see the dip. Can we get the dip for once? I don't know why this type of market condition isn't giving a dip. We missed out on like eight, like yeah. I mean, just from MNPR yesterday alone, like. Our UAVS coming back. It's giving another pullback. Flush one more time. Because we didn't bounce there at 35. We didn't bounce. I'm gonna give it a shot. I bought 35 and filled 40. Great. Can you show me 50, 55? Or maybe KB is not even alive here on this Titanic drop. Alright, UPXI is my only hope at this point. Oh, you son of a gun. Was that a random resumption? It was. Bro, I'm gonna go crazy. And it gives the dip, but I'm late. Alright, time to shut it down. Man, what? You can't make this stuff up, man. Are you kidding me? It resumes 2 minutes and 30 seconds before it's supposed to resume on the 15-minute interval. And then it gives the dip and rip. I chased it, man, and which is not good. Bro, I could have gotten like 13 if I was watching. I kind of thought I took a loss because I was in so high. It went to 12.29, man. Well, being that I knew it could have resumed randomly, I probably should have never looked away, but... And... Alright, let's not get frustrated. UAVS. It's fighting and curling back up. Bro. UAVS. Maybe sympathy right now, maybe. It's fighting. Trying. It probably definitely is sympathy. With that type of bid. Bro, I would have dominated that resumption, man. Like that's crazy. Why? Why can't we get a normal resumption time on the 5 minute interval? So when it goes past 10, sometimes the rules kind of start to bend. But 9 times out of 10, it should still be a 5 minute interval, unless it's halted with a different code rather than volatility. So UAVS is catching a big bid and it's going. We'll see how far it goes, or maybe it pulls back before the highs. All right, let's wait for that pullback. No bounce. Well, I'm not watching it at this time, sadly. It looks like it's going to give a nice trade. Well, that time is my own fault. Ooh, the bid is still there. The bid is still there. Wow. For UAVS. You got to be careful of the order being canceled, I think, is the main thing. There's another small buyer.
INHD.
Man, I've never seen so much nonsense in a month yet. Not doing particularly well on this UAVS. It's having trouble up at 80. We need the 5-minute candle to make the new high. The up to 90 area. Can we do it? It might flush out here because it's really having trouble up there at 80. That was close. That was close. There's a small seller at 90 though, 26,000. There's the other seller. We got to get through the other seller though at 90.
INHD. LINK.
Oh my gosh, bro. Freaking spreads. And I got 79, of course. Lovely. Whatever.
LINK.
I'm getting some 5 cent spills on the ass. 5 cents different on the ass. So that's going to eat away at my gains. I can't believe UPXI, man. The halt up is at 1364. Low of 34. And it's down. UPXI.
BTOC.
We did get a bottoming wick at the 200. We'll see if it holds up. What? Bro, what was that? That just teleported from 1290. What an interesting day.
UPXI.
Bro. I'm flat on a day like this. It's crazy, man. This market is making me go crazy. Making me go mad. The dip under 12 was good. I wasn't really in sync for that dip, kind of switching over to it a little midway. But I thought break of 1290 would have been good. So I tried up there and lost. I tried 1288, but this is before the dip. It dipped. It had to dip first. I think this is a pretty fair trade considering kind of switching back to it midway like that. But over 1290, it just teleported up to the halt up. There might be another opportunity on this resumption. The first resumption, it was a very subtle dip below the whole dollar and then straight up. Let's say the move leading into the first resumption or first halt. After that, it just opened and just kept going. The third resumption opened up at a random time frame. So if you're not really like just staring at the tape, and it gives the dip and rip, man. 1228 to 15. UAVS still, over 290 can be interesting.
INHD.
Days like this is definitely frustrating though because, again, I mentioned in the first 5 minutes that, we could have already hit our daily goal had the circumstances just been slightly different.
LINK. INHD.
Can't get unlucky here forever. Taking a couple cents, which honestly probably was 1 cent. It might try for the highs soon. This is the third time here, which is, not ideal.
UKXI.
My goodness. There was a hidden buyer at 14. False halt up. Oh, well, I just effed myself there. Crap. When I get caught in that. Well, that's not good. Uh, oh, alright. I got lucky. I'm gonna be able to salvage that for just a scratch loss. What? Bro, this thing halting down at 1320. False halts, and the false halt is up at 14. I got pretty lucky there. Bro, I mean, this is some insane volatility for sure. But anyhow, I mean, at this point, the train has left the station. I mean, trading it now, it's like, it's just super risky. Ideally, you already want to be big green. If you're risking something small at the top for a haircut, fine. But trying to get green now, it's already too late. We're seeing consolidation and chop. This thing did go from eight to 16. So it's like if you didn't make anything, then trains kind of left the station. Better to be a little bit more careful now. I'm gonna wait for another stock. I think UAVS was good. I should have done a little bit better there. We did have a small spread at times, but I think being a little bit more patient for some of the bigger dips. But UPXI, I mean, from start to finish, just utter disaster with either not getting entries or missing trades. There are some traders out there, right, who will say to themselves, you know what? We've seen a few stocks this week, last week, and before just continue to go. So some people will insta buy the resumptions, and honestly, right now, if you have that type of risk tolerance without really getting the proper ideal entry, that's been working, right? Or maybe buying into the first halt up, which some people do, buying into the first halt up. I mean, right now that would have resulted into dollars a share winner this week and last week. So I guess it's a matter of like the first time it doesn't work, then you stop and you kind of get back a little off the top in total gains. Sometimes that's the approach that you have to take for this type of like crazy environment because the usual entries are not really coming as much. We could see another halt up and a test of 5 day here. It's possible. I'm going to size down to just really small size. And we got that halt up. Taking it off at 30. Okay, looks like it is going to go. And scratch trade. Let's make sure to put it up. It tried for the halt up. It's not quite there. Halt down to 13. 5 minute candle's kind of weak. It's better if it doesn't give a massive pullback here. Or if it does, maybe the panic flush trade could work. But you got to be careful of the halt down. No bounce. I'm easing off. But I got caught in I got caught at 13. And I got like a bad fill, I think, too. I got caught 1380, and the halt down was 1320. So if that was to resume lower, I would have for sure lost like 1200. So I did a false halt from 1320 and teleported up to like 14. But we didn't see any liquidity, any price points between the halt down and where it came. It just was up there like randomly. So the low there was 15, it's saying. I think we saw about 30. Or was it 15? False halt down. This month has been, I mean, it's been insane. UAVS is also still, kind of trying.
INHD.
Gotta, you just gotta watch out for like a halt down if it dips too low. Halt down is at 15, 13.15. Big level up here at 50. Hmm. There's just a little too much chop here. Looks like it's still trying. Time 21.
KXIN.
KXIN. Is it? Gotta check that one to see if it's looking good. Gotta be careful of the halt down. It did push down a little more. 1278. There's the halt down.
UTXI.
Bro, this is like, you guys, in my, for how I see how everything played out here, it's like,
VAC.
man, this is absolute madness. Man, even that beautiful pre-market move. On UAVS, I did hesitate in a few areas, which I didn't like. But UPXI, man, just ready to go and just not getting a lot of entries. The dip and rip comes random time. UAVS is back at 280 here. There was a seller at 90 last I remember. Wow. Really? I wonder if that was a fake order. Spoofing. Unless they got filled instantly. There's a 30K bid at 90. Then we need to dip first. Thinking it might need to dip first.
IXIN.
Taking 84. Well, I never looked at KXIN. Not sure how it's doing. We have a wall. About 60K shares. I think it should go. Come on. Only 02. It's still here. I'm going to try again. I'm going to put 95 cents stop. Can we hold? Can we hold? Can we hold? We should see 10 and 15 here. We should see 10 and 15. Oh, we're seeing sellers.
UPXI.
I'm surprised we cleared the sellers and didn't go right away, so it's kind of churning a bit. It's still holding high though. Taking 75. What a Friday though. I mean, yo, this market, man. This market, I tell you. Well, despite not capitalizing, what I can say is that this is the place to be. There's nowhere else I would rather be than to be right here. Even though I didn't capitalize on a crazy stock like that UPXI, I think the market is the place to be. $75 stop right there below the candle. We're making new lows. So perhaps it's a full VWAP retracement here. What a day. UPXI, boy. UPXI. You know, there was a resumption that I wasn't watching at. I think that was around 10 a.m. What happened at that time is because we had two 10-minute halts. You know, again, you got to blame yourself, right? You can't blame anybody else. We had two 10-minute halts, so I kind of got a little carried away watching the other stock, and it was a 5-minute resumption. And from there, it was like, yeah, you know, that was like the last chance of like, you know, a red to green, and I'm trading UAVS. So opportunity kind of costed on that one. So that was my own fault. And from there, it's like I just let it go. Again, I did get lucky because I almost got caught in that halt down, which would have put me like red 1K in that trade for sure. Maybe like, I mean, it would have, depending on where it would have resumed, it could have been down like 1,400 on that trade just with 1,000 shares. But we had the right idea to be aggressive. You know, we had initially 1,800 shares, and then I think I had like 4K size if I was, you know, like if I'm to get the dip and rip and the second continuation trade comes, I'll size into it and go for it. But never really getting the opportunity. So red $500 and shutting it down. Hopefully the other guys, you know, Triad, Marcelo, Tim got something. Hopefully some of the students here, because you know, it's impossible that nobody got something. Hopefully the students, and then those of you in the broader chat room and YouTube community, hopefully you guys got something out of that UPXI. Ay, ay, ay. ARBB, bit of a bigger red candle there. I've never seen a month where like this hot where I haven't like capitalized like you know, this is the type of month there's like at least a couple of like 5, 10, 15K days. It's like, bro, I'm like 0 for 9 on all these hot days. It's like insane. Some of it was not holding long enough, which we kind of saw a little bit in pre-market, but it really comes down to executing. I think in pre-market especially, if there's a certain predefined level that I like, utilizing the ladder might be a better option to go, because that way I can put the order out and then just have my stop in place. When using the level 2, you have to wait for the bid price to come to that level before you put the order out, which makes it a little bit more difficult to get the price that you want, or let's say that price that you need really. So if it sits there, you know, it has to be filled or not, or if not, at least, you know, you avoid getting the higher entry. Pre-market, I bought the ask price with a fairly tight spread, but you know, you guys know the volatility of it all. The moment I'm buying, the spread opens up just slightly, and then with my offset, it's like I'm buying market order all the way to a point. I'm in the trade, but I'm in, you know, instead of being in at 09, like 908 area, my risk would have been 980 or 8, let's say 880. 880, I'm in at 908, or I'm trying to be in at like 908, but instead I'm in at 918, 920. And it's like, you know, it's like that extra 10 cents up there kind of just makes the risk so much more wide, because you know, I'm also thinking about slippage. If you know, if we do come below the whole dollar and this thing like flushes down, then I'm really like losing a lot. But all part of the deal. Gotta execute, get the better entries that I need, and then once I do that, I'll be very comfortable to just hold the trade. At that point, it's a matter of if the stock continues to be strong or not. If the stock happens to be weak, then business as usual. We smile, we move on. If the stock is strong, then we get rewarded in the trade. But I think I'm gonna jump down into Gen 1. This thing is having such a hard time at $3. It's back down. Alright, yeah, I'm jumping into Gen 1. I'm gonna just take it easy for the rest of the day here. Bro, what a... I'll show you guys my trade review. Bro, the last time the market was this hot, we did $70,000 in a month. You know, I keep it pretty calm up here, but mentally, I'm raging. Just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. If you guys ever seen Marcelo's, Marcelo used to have a thumbnail. He doesn't use it anymore, but like a few months ago, he'd use it that says like, FOMO. Like, there's a bunch of different like stuff on there. Bro, I feel like dissatisfied with the month. Dissatisfied. 3 red days, which is great, but almost all these green days here, which should be like excellent sweet days, are just in the depths. And I'm grateful to be up 10 grand on the month, especially after yesterday's loss, but this is a month for me, let's not kid ourselves here. This is a month for me to be up like 50 grand, right? Like, just imagine something so simple as hold time in a few areas, and the willingness to be more aggressive in others is a difference of being up 10 grand versus 50 grand in a month. It's like a 1%, turn on the dial to the right, and the month is 50K plus. It's like, market continues to challenge me here, even in year 5. Continues to challenge me here. I did check out Ross's recap yesterday, man. What a beast. What a beast. Freaking 300K in 1 week. The market is on fire, man. The market is on fire. Pre-market, intraday. I'm not too sure about after hours because I'm not sticking around that much for after hours, but hopefully everyone was able to make something on the month, whether it's small green, big green. The pastor, brother. Pastor. And then yesterday, I mean, what a day yesterday. Green 800 to red 3K. Disaster. I had so much conviction on that cheaper stock too. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait. It dipped down. I'm like, nope. I'm waiting for this overextended dip. I started to scale, and honestly, like, not to go too crazy, but I could definitely see myself at some point taking like 100,000 shares on those stocks in that context, though, not on a scalp. In that type of context there. But that thing just tanked. I mean, it just tanked like nobody's business. So this is the month. This is the month. Well, we have to import for today, which will be minus $500 as of right now. I can come back green today. No, if something else comes up, I can get myself back to green, no problem. But this is the month here so far. Ludicrous. Grateful for the green though. Grateful for the green. You know, 10,000 is still something. I'm only talking like this because it was such a hot month. If it's like a slow month, then you know it's different. We had some cheaper stocks we did well on. We had some we didn't do so well on. ARBB is still moving up. ARBB. I wonder where's drug on the scale here. It must have moved up significantly. Nope, not even top 10. Whoa, only 6.6. Holy smokes. I guess that first day we didn't do super well. I would have expected it to be closer to like 10, 15. Well, we did 4,000 and then... Was I red on this stock? It's just no way. Because it moved up like a year ago. Unless I was red that day. Because we did 4,000 the first day. That first day we didn't end big green because I was like red 500 every other side stock, but we did 4K on DRUG. Actually, no. I came back. I remember I came back and lost like 2,500 in one trade. But yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so I bought at 26 on a dip from 30, and the dip went down to 20. From 30 to 26, bottomed out a little bit. I'm in. I blink. I look back. There's 21, like 20, 21, and it's like okay. So I gave back like a big chunk of gains that particular day on that trade. So I guess that would make sense. So we only ended up like 1,500 on the stock. Or 1,800. And then 5K from the other day. The market continues to impress me, you know, even after all this time. There's no other place to be, man. Even on a day where you're red, even on a day where you might have struggled, even on a month where you're red, even if you're red on the year. If you can master this art, if you can master this field here, you'll never have to work a day again in your life. It's not easy. Nobody said it's easy. It never will be easy. But if you can master the art, I mean, you guys are seeing it every day through myself, through Marcelo, through Tim, Triad. You have the team house guys. You have the chat room here. If you can master this art, if you can master this skill, you'll never have to work a traditional job again. Ever. The power of day trading. The power of day trading. Shout out to the community. Shout out to the team. Let's see how the community did today. How did the community do today? Stealth, man. Way to go. Wait, stealth. I'm guessing you're out of your drawdown. You should be out of your drawdown if my math is any good here. You've been posting at least 2-3K plus the last couple days. Man, that stealth. You guys gotta watch out for stealth, man. I think he can I think he's right there. He's right there. Just a few small adjustments that we spoke about. this strategy, all of this is just proof that the strategy works. Zay, who's getting closer to PDT. Shout out to Zay. Black 10, not a student, but a broader chat room member, getting it done. XPON, UPXI, UAVS, the top stocks, MNPR as well. Locking it in. Lucas, Tesla swing. Nvidia is also in an interesting area to break out. I would hope we see 150. I do have a small position there in terms of like swings. We'll see if it gets through to 140, 150 over the next couple of weeks. Minty, ELAB, and ARBB. You know, Minty and Dynasty primarily penny stocks, but I am interested in seeing how well they will do after becoming a little bit better at the higher price stocks. You know, the DRUGs, the UPXIs of the world. I mean, there's so much potential here in this chat room, man. The text small green or flat. What's that? Walking flat before I go deep red. Good discipline there to shut it down. Dan, red day, red on the week. So Dan had some trouble this week. Got flushed on UPXI and our ARBB. Yeah, when the flushes come, your original risk that you have goes out the window, right? You might have just a tight stop and then the thing is down 50 cents or a dollar or something, and you can only cut the loss, right? I mean, I almost got caught in the haul down there. Beam got some good trades. I'm guessing UPXI, 1800 UPXI, and some ARBB. Momo Bro, way to go. 1K, 142. Dynasty with a nice day here. Up 3K on ELAB. Way to go. These are the guys from the team house in Florida. Shout out to them. Derek holding it down. And it's still early, so a lot of people haven't posted yet. So far, so good here in the chat. I'm going to jump down to Gen 1. Gen 1 time. Gen 1 time. Okay, I'm going to get myself back to green and then I'll be out of here. Small size, couple of quick trades, and we are out lights out.
If you do trade, share your screen.
Yes, sir, I can.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. There we go. ARBBs. I mean, honestly, he's doing his thing here. Actually, let's keep the scanners up for now. Well, I've underestimated this ARBB with my rant. Mooning. You can never rule out these penny stocks sometimes. Way to go. Wow, what a pull away. It's at 70 to 85. Will we see a tight pullback? We have been seeing some tight pullbacks. Ay, ay, ay. So it looks like this is the first dip. Throwing out just a starter. Low was 78. It's a decent bounce here. But if I can get to add towards the bottom of this, could be pretty good. Not bad. Hopefully I got a good fill. Well, maybe not. The 5-minute candlestick is under some duress, so it'd be best for us not to see a massive, huge pullback, but instead a quicker, shorter red to green. So far, so good right there. So far the pullback has been tight, which is good. I'd want to see us close at least 82 green doji, and then if we do see a 5-minute pullback, I think that's fine. There's 30 seconds left in the candlestick. Five-minute candle's about to close as a green doji, it looks like. Barely. Okay. Try for the 1-minute candle to make the new high right there. Not the best fills going in. This one's pretty liquid too. It's pretty liquid and pretty volatile. It looks like we're going to see the 5-minute setup. There's a breakdown, unless it reclaims instantly. Oh my god. Why did the ask price jump 3 cents in that situation from a tight spread? This is just ridiculous, fam. So whilst we could get the quick reclaim here, it's like such a bad fill. My goodness. See, this is a story of my life right now, right here. This would be a great trade if I get the fills like 76, 75. We were at 74 or 73. Why? Jeez. So this is that type of trade. There's like a very low risk trade, assuming that the spread doesn't jump 5 cents on the ask for this type of stock. turns out to be a losing trade. But if I get the fill there 75, you know, I can I can always sell half and just wait, break even on the rest. If not, I can sell the entire thing or hold with like a half a penny trailing stop or something. But this is that would be in case it doesn't give the actual 5 minute pullback, because this is kind of tight for that, and more like an elongated 1 minute drawdown here. So if it gets back over 78, it looks good. It probably looks pretty good to retest 80, like 82. So if I'm holding shares there, it's like, you know, let's just see how far this goes kind of thing. So getting that high fill just ruins that trade there completely, sadly. And here it is, right? Here we go. Right idea. The spread's getting me. Such a nice move. There could be a pullback. There could be another red candle. 83. Bro, but stuff like that right there, that like it's just nonsense. Like, you can't tell me the spreads go from 73, 74 area to 77 and change in a millisecond. So there's no pull, at least, I mean, there's like a baby pullback there, but nothing real, at least not yet. So still hoping that there's a pullback here, maybe below high of day. If not, it might just keep going. I wonder if it'll be better if I just use my marketable. Well, I don't know. Maybe that'll be worse. Or, I don't know. Might be the same. I'm going to try 82 with a tight stop. Okay. Yeah, there was a bigger spread there. I'm gonna play for the new low. Hopefully we get a new low here. Come on. There's 2 minutes left in the candle on 5. Okay.
UPXI.
Seems like it's having trouble over 83. Maybe a big. I doubt whether we see a elongated, maybe a 5 minutes pullback coming. We're not really bouncing. We could see an ABCD, but it would be like a high pivot ABC, which is not really ideal. UPXI is given the bounce. Seeing like a bit of a high pivot ABCD. We'll see. We'll see if the next 5-minute candle doesn't make the new high. Or a bit of a bull flag here as well on 5. Kind of wedging. Is there a seller here? I wonder if selling just this initial pop will be better, because a lot of times we're kind of pushing up and then just like stalling out.
VALC.
Perhaps a new low. Oh my gosh, I'm super early. All right, I'll take the loss there. All right. 72 bounce. 71, 70. Trying for the 70 bounce, 73. Watching for 73. And there's no bounce. Well, I was a little early at 72 just now. Well, it's coming down. Maybe it gives a VWAP pullback or something for the 5-minute setup. Big Steve says ARBB might be the stock of the day. I think UPXI, man. Or UP, well, whatever the name was. UPIX. ITRM. ATNF. ATNF ended up not holding up. MNPR. UAVS. XPON. Well, I'll be on the sidelines for the time being. ARBB coming down a bit. Oh my gosh. You know, Marcelo has been warring for these GIFs. Marcelo is fighting a long battle here every day. I have no purpose without the GIF. Jeez. Oh, why so dramatic, man? For Kitty there in the chat. ARBB still fighting around 70 cents. Well, unless something else hits the scans, I'll be chilling on the sidelines here. ITRM. I mean, I don't know. This one looks like it's been halted. For an eternity. It's gonna resume randomly at some point. People are still watching ARBB dips in the chat. That's about it. Not really seeing any other call outs. Nothing else really hitting the scans. TWG, I can see if it looks good here. Well, this one has just been halting down. I'm selling off, let's say. E-Trade's charting is just so bad. It doesn't accurately reflect percentage. TWG. Like, why is the chart looking like this? It's just, come on. And that's been happening with E-Trade Pro for years. Other than that, the platform is pretty good. And something I like about E-Trade is that they have whatever agreement or partnership with Bloomberg TV. So if you ever want to watch Bloomberg like financial news, this is good. This is good for people like, you know, staying in the loop a little bit. Back in the days, E-Trade had a partnership with Trade Ideas. That's like 4 years ago. For anybody who might have been using the platform back then. And the craziest part about that was that there was someone who I worked with like for an entire day setting up the scans in there, like sharing all my scanners. And then the next day, the person messages me saying like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, what's going on?" I log in and all the scanners are gone. The partnership and the deal that they had ended the next day after that person was ready to use it. Crazy timing. ARBB still sideways, and you know, we'll see if over 72 if it gives more of a bounce here. I don't know. This might be a good time to shut down the stream. Maybe take a break. I don't know if something else will come in the afternoon. I would have loved to have captured that beautiful move up that I tried for, but they got that high. You know, trades like that. Even if I mean, I probably would have took the same loss that's coming down. But that trade would have been from like 74 up to 80. You know, at least worst case scenario, I'm like small green or maybe small red. But you know, stuff like that is just annoying. You take the perfect entry, you're in the moon, and you have no choice but to, you know, you got to manage risk. The stock is not guaranteed to go, so. But yeah, for those of you on the live stream, I'm gonna shut it down. Take care, stay safe, stay green. I'm gonna take a break and maybe come back later. We're at $800 on the day. Didn't bring my deficit to half or green like I thought I would have. You know, I don't mind, like, when the stocks keep dipping, I don't mind that at all. That's like, whatever. But some of these areas where the fills are just egregious, man. Like, it throws off so much. But yeah, anyhow, I'm out of here. For those of you who are like trading till 5 p.m., continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient, and I'm gonna catch you guys on Monday. I'll be back on Monday morning in the chat room. I'm gonna continue to hang out a little bit once I come back from this break. And yeah. Other than that, stay safe, stay green.
TWG.
Take care.
Take care, RT.